ABC Radio, bushfire information.
Good evening to you there. Kelly Fuller with you as we spend the evening together and keep across the latest bushfire information. Thank you for your company. It's lovely to be talking to you. I think we've got a couple of ABC teams we're broadcasting to, the North Coast, the Coffs Coast and New England Northwest. So lovely to be chatting with you. Hopefully you are safe and well after what's been some very troublesome days for people right around the region. And if you're seeing or hearing anything right now, please let me know. 1300 973 300, 1300 973 300, or on the text 0467 922 684. As we heard just before the news, a bit of an update. There's only one emergency warning in New South Wales at the moment. Thankfully, just before the news, the gum scrub fire was downgraded to a watch and act, which is still a volatile fire, but thankfully that's the latest information. It was downgraded. Local information on the ground basically suggesting that that is okay, and they can be downgraded at this stage. So one emergency warning: the Hillville Road, Hillville fire. It's still emergency warning and it's still out of control. This is a big one. It's more than 16,680 hectares in size, and it is out of control. The fire's burning in a north and easterly direction in the area of Hillville, south of Taree. The fire's impacting on properties in the area of Old Bar, Wallaby Point, South Taree, Tinanee, Purfleet and northwest Hillville. There are strong and gusty winds on the fire ground, and crews in the area are actually protecting property right now. And the advice is, if you're in the area of Old Bar, Wallaby Point, South Taree, Tinanee, Purfleet and Hillville, seek shelter as the fire approaches. Protect yourself from the heat of the fire by sheltering in a solid structure. And if you're in the area of Rainbow Flat, Diamond Beach, Possum Brush, Tallwoods Village and Hallidays Point, continue to monitor the situation. Now, the information I wanted to get to you, especially this hour, is the other important information about evacuation centres that are open today. The Old Bar Primary School, David Street Old Bar Bowling Club, 1 Belford Street Old Bar, Club Taree, I know a lot of people have been going in there, 121 Wingham Road, Taree, and Tuncurry Bowling Club, 21 Park Street, Tuncurry. So you're encouraged to register online at Register Find Reunite. That's the Red Cross site there, before attending the evacuation centre. Of course, if your life is at risk, call 000 immediately, and continue to stay update with the latest bushfire information by checking the RFS website, which is updated frequently, and the Fires Near Me app, which is a brilliant resource. If you need to, you can call the RFS bushfire information line on 1800 679 737, and also keep checking live traffic as well. We know the highway still closed. The Pacific Highway remains closed between Nabiac and Cuddleton, so do be aware of that. But let's in this first half hour, just after 10 o'clock, as we spend our Saturday evening together, let's catch up with Jordan Natara, who's the duty forecaster with the Weather Bureau. Good evening to you again, Jordan.
Yes, good evening.
Now, we've seen a slight easing in conditions. How's it looking now?
Yeah, so areas around the coastline, all winds have dropped out, so we are seeing, again, generally those sort of very light westerlies that have been just what we call catabatics, just drifting off the ranges. Humidity is on the increase as well for those coastal areas, around 80% or so at the moment, around Port Macquarie, Kempsey and Taree. As we go up over the ranges, we have got some dry air, which is interacting with the topography, so relative humidity is a little bit lower, so around 20 or 30% around those areas. And the winds are still generally around, again, at 20 kilometres an hour in the westerly direction. So generally things are on track for the forecast at this stage. We are again expecting those winds to lift as we move towards tomorrow morning, especially around those coastal parts around sunrise. And again, there's going to be more west-southwesterly winds as we forecast tomorrow. Again, they are going to be seeing those humidity levels lower down again tomorrow, but not to what we've been seeing in past. So temperatures are again forecast to be again slightly lower again than we saw today. But again with those humidity levels still quite dry due to the air mass that we are seeing still moving through.
And we just heard the sort of the most positive news of the last sort of half hour is that gum scrub fire you mentioned has been downgraded to a watch and act, so the conditions there must have eased quite enough for fireys to be confident to do that, and it's all sort of calmed down a bit there, has it now?
Yeah, the interaction again with the fires and winds obviously have led to that decision. That wind being easing through the evening again is going to continue on as we go through the evening into the early parts of tomorrow morning. But again, we are going to want to keep an eye out for again any upgrades to those fires as we move towards those periods again, as those winds will start to increase as we move again towards tomorrow evening as well.
Now, the RFS told us that there's no fire bans in place for tomorrow, and is that, I guess, good news? How do you interpret that through the Bureau?
Well, generally the interpretation of that obviously is a risk assessment that the Rural Fire Service has taken. Again, conditions from the meteorological point of view are still generally quite cool compared to what we saw in the height and obviously the last, obviously through Friday itself. The actual humidity levels again are going to be not as low as we saw on the day as well through Friday, and all those combining with obviously lighter winds in comparison, we are obviously seeing still ratings in that very high range, but we are obviously seeing a repeat again of those extreme conditions we saw through Friday.
But Tuesday is the day that people are talking about, and we'll see a significant change in the forecast for that sort of part of the week.
Yeah, again, as we were saying earlier, that is going to be the next day that we want to be quite vigilant about. The warm, dry, windy conditions that we saw through Friday are looking to be returning through that Tuesday period with quite a strong southerly change moving up the coast. So as we go towards, again, that Tuesday period and we see how that forecast develops, we are, again, looking to be seeing the fire dangers being basically more through the central coastline as well. So not only confined to the northeast of the state, but potentially all the way down to parts of the Illawarra as well.
Thank you again, Jordan. We really appreciate your time with us as we keep everyone company this evening. Very grateful. Thanks, Jordan.
That's okay.
Thanks, Jordan Natara there from the Weather Bureau, the Duty for